Journey of a Pioneer by Patricia J. Murphy. March 1845. Dear Diary, my name is Olivia Clark, and I've lived in Elk Grove, Missouri my whole life. But that's about to change. Pa heard that many farming families are moving west to Oregon Territory. They're looking for free open land and a new start. Since times are tough and our little plot of land can't produce many crops, we're leaving too. Pa told us at supper, I can't sleep. March 24th, 1845. Ma said Oregon Territory is far away, and it will take many months to get there. Pa warned that we'd travel long distances through wilderness. Sometimes we'll be the only white folks around. Once we arrive, we'll have a very large plot of land all to ourselves. This means a bigger house, a barn for the animals, and space to grow lots of crops. I hope I like it there, wherever there is. And the caption on this map shows you that the Oregon Trail was a 2,000-mile, that's 3,200 kilometers, path from Missouri to Oregon. It passes through natural landmarks and crosses rivers. It says it was used from 1843 into the 1870s, and the map actually shows the path from Missouri through the Rocky Mountains to Oregon. April 1845. We've been selling our furniture and anything else that won't fit in our wagon. Ma has filled large barrels with food and packed our cooking tools, china, and bedding into a trunk. I've packed my doll Joanna, but will leave her bed behind. Pa said that he would build Joanna another bed when he makes our new furniture. He has bought oxen to pull the wagon. And the caption in this inset box shows a pioneer wagon packed carefully so that the pioneers are traveling light. Says food took up most of the room in the small space inside the wagon. Many personal items had to be left behind. April 10th, 1845. Today, we said our last goodbyes. Grandma hugged me so tight I almost stopped breathing. Ma cried when friends gave her a friendship quilt. Pa had tears in his eyes too. I wondered why everyone was so sad. Ma told me later that we might not see many of these people ever again. I didn't want to believe her, but Ma never lies. And up here there's a nonfiction box again that shows, called Friendship in a Quilt. Tells you some real facts about pioneers. During the pioneers on the Oregon Trail, it says friendship quilts were a popular parting gift. Friends sewed their names onto the quilt's colorful squares. May 4th, 1845. Today, we reached our jumping off point, Independence, Missouri. We bought last-minute wagon supplies here and met up with others heading west. And if you look under the picture, you can see the caption that says Wagons Gathering in Independence, Missouri. And this is an artist's illustration to show that. We've split up into groups of wagons called trains. Each train includes men with important skills, such as doctors, blacksmiths, and builders. In our train, there is also a girl named Lizzie. She could be my new best friend. The nonfiction inset box says first traffic jams. With hundreds of wagons heading west at one time, slower moving wagons cause long stretches of traffic. May 1845. We've settled into a daily routine now. We wake as the sun rises. Ma makes breakfast. Pa hitches up the oxen. We pack up our things and away we go. Most of the day we walk behind the wagon. Sometimes we pick wildflowers. We travel up to 15 miles, that's 24 kilometers, until night falls, or we fall over. And the inset caption, Independence Rock. To avoid traveling in the winter, families hoped to get to Independence Rock, Wyoming by the 4th of July. They knew that if they got that far by the 4th of July, they would probably make it the rest of the way before winter. June 11th, 1845. We make camp when we find a spot with enough grass and water for the oxen. Pa unhitches the oxen and lets them rest. I collect dead sagebrush and dried buffalo dung for the fire and help put up our tent. Ma makes dinner. Tonight, we used a tablecloth and candles since it was Pa's birthday. For a minute, it felt a little like home. Looking at the caption, there's a picture that shows forming a corral. Each night, the travelers put their wagons in a circle to keep their animals in and wild animals out. June 21st, 1845. After dinner, we clear the table, wash dishes, and make beds in the tent. On special nights, Pa and others play their fiddles and harmonicas. We sing and dance under the moon. Most nights, we just want to rest. I count backward to get to sleep. It keeps me from wondering how close the howling animals are. Men take turns sitting watch to protect the camp. July 7th, 1845. I try to be brave when we cross rivers, but it can be cold, wet, and scary. When the rivers are low, we just walk across. When the rivers are high, we wait until they are lower, and then the oxen pull the wagons across. As we cross, we watch the fast-moving river currents. Yesterday, one man drowned, and 2 wagons tipped over. The families lost everything. And the caption says wagons were sealed with tar or pitch to prevent leaks. July 28th, 1845. I have seen Indians from far away a few times, but today I saw my first Indian up close. He was tall, thin, and had a dark hair and skin. He wore leather and feathers. He offered us buffalo meat. Ma gave him some blankets in return. Pa traded some nails and beads for some moccasins. Indians aren't as scary as I thought they would be. And the caption says, Buffalo Stampede. Travelers had more to fear from buffalo than from Indians. A stampede could trample them to death. August 3rd, 1845. Meals on the trail are different than they were back home. Most days we eat cornmeal, beans, or rice served with bacon or dried beef. On windy or rainy days, we can't start fires, so everyone has cold meals. If Pa goes hunting, he might bring back an antelope or catch a rabbit or a bird for us to eat. When we find berries, Ma uses them to make fresh baked pies. And the captions show some of the foods that they might have had: the cornmeal porridge, rice, dried beef, and then over here the elderberries and blackberries they might have found along the trail. August 9th, 1845. After endless prairies, we finally reached the mountains, but climbing the steep sides is hard work. To go up, we have to lighten our load, which means dumping Ma's stove and trunk. To get down, we tie rope to a tree and then the back of the wagon. Then we slowly let out the rope. The Rocky Mountains are too steep. Luckily, we used a flat, wide path through them called South Pass. Oregon Territory is close. And the caption about South Pass. South Pass was a 12-mile or 19-kilometer wide trail through the otherwise impossible Rocky Mountains. August 18th, 1845. On the trail, we have seen births, celebrated holidays, and marked many special events. We have seen tragedy too. Some people have become very ill and died. Others have been struck by lightning, shot while hunting, drowned in river crossings, and killed by wagons and buffalo. The trail is filled with goodbyes. Today, Lizzie and her family set off on another path to a different part of Oregon Territory. I will miss her. This caption says, "Seeing the elephant." Pioneers would say, "I've seen the elephant," when they met illness and death along the trail. September 28th, 1845. After 2,000 miles, which is 3,200 kilometers, and 5 months of traveling, we've arrived in Willamette Valley, Oregon Territory. After a few days' rest, we picked the plot of land where we'll live and farm. Once we've built our house, we'll have a big celebration with eating and dancing. We'll celebrate the end of our long journey and the beginning of our new life in Oregon Territory, our new home. The caption says Pioneer Diaries. Historians believe that 1 in every 250 pioneers kept diaries or journals along the trail, recording their risky journey. And here's a page of nonfiction because these are pioneer facts. In 1805, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark were the first explorers from the United States to reach Oregon Territory. Other explorers, fur trappers, and church people, and settlers followed afterward, finding better As you might have discovered, it's difficult to read this small page of Pioneer Facts, so I'm going to let you read these yourself, starting up here where it says Pioneer Facts and taking turns reading each section of facts about pioneers during the time of the Oregon Trail. When you're finished, take a look at the index in case you want to go back and look something up, and have fun learning more about pioneers.